being at one of the live Raws and just hearing Sierra Echo, Sierra Hotel, India Echo Lima Delta, and it just like it made an impact. Like it felt incredible just to be there and hear it. So
no, it was.
They're great. They're great.
I remember you always got like the adrenaline rush when, they're making their entrance.
Always hoping they're going to come down near you, right?
Yeah, if you were lucky enough to be in that stage of the area of the arena. But then I remember too, I think, was it at the tail end that I think it might have just been Roman Reigns by himself. They weren't letting him do the crowd entrance anymore.
Yeah.
That part about it I didn't like. I thought that was something that belonged to the group in itself. They probably should have just had Roman Reigns do traditional entrance. That really wasn't like his thing.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
I just everything about the Shield, from how they moved, how they talked, how they
dismantled people.
Yeah, just everything about them. I loved it. Loved it. So my number 4.
And they attacked the Rocket.
Yeah.
Attacked the Rock at WrestleMania.
They attacked everyone. Ryback, fuck Ryback. They attacked Randy Orton. They attacked John Cena, The Big Show, everybody. Like, unless you were CM Punk, you were hands off.
Oh, I actually go back. There's another honorable mention for worst of all time is Ryback. His whole appeal is just like kind of like adolescent. Like it sounded like a little kid's thing. Like feed me more.
Yeah, that Ryback was bad. Not anywhere near as bad as what I have, in my opinion. Not anywhere near as bad as what I have already said. But Ryback was bad. Yeah. Yep. Real bad. All right. So Dan Beebie,
solid one.
Who do you have for your number 3?
Number 3 is going to be Triple H.
Wow.
We forget, granted, I mean, he's had a ton of, character roles over the years with doing Evolution, DX, but, we took for granted how tactical and how actually good of a wrestler he was in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, he was elite, and, he's still trying to hang to this, to the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And especially with all of the talk about, him burying everybody because Vince just liked him, and whether it's because of how good he was or whether it's because he's the son-in-law of the owner, I don't see. This is really the first time where I'm just going to completely disagree with you. I don't understand how you can put Triple H as you said a worst, or no, you said best.
No, he's my number 3 best.
Jesus Christ, I've just been. Never mind, my bad. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. No, you're right. Triple H definitely deserves to be up near the top 5. No, my bad. Just take away literally everything I've just said.
Okay.
Oh man, what a
bitty.
Yeah, what an idiot I am. Oh my god. Oh, but yes, number 3 of all time, Triple H.
The best.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, he's basically proven that he can do it all. Like he's, all-around tactical wrestler. Was doing all strong throughout the early 2000s, and now he's doing the whole business aspect of it. And honestly, Vince should listen to him.
No, great pick. Great pick. My number 3 favorite wrestler of all time, the one, the only, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Bionic Redneck.
Oh, he came in early on that one, I think. But all right, yeah,
Well,
definitely.
so he just was the epitome of the badass that everyone thought they could be, that everyone wanted to be. He got to live out everyone's fantasy of doing what he wants, saying what he wants, sticking it to the fucking man, and everyone loved him for it. He just...
Absolutely.
His feud with The Rock is quite possibly the greatest feud in the history of wrestling. Of all time. But I still think that there are two wrestlers, in my opinion, who are more favored than him. Which brings us to number 2. Dan Beebie, who do you have for number 2?
Oh man, number 2 overall. It could be tough on it. Be a close call. Honestly, like, I don't know, because it wasn't going to be Austin, and I had it down to a few. And I'm still kind of trying to decide, but I'll kick it back to you. Who do you have at number 2?
At number 2, I have Cookie Monster, Chick Magnet, Charles Montgomery, whatever you want to call him, CM Punk. Oh my god, I, for whatever reason right now, just a sidebar, am watching AEW, giving it another chance because I'm a fucking glutton for punishment. And MJF is doing the fucking Jeff Jarrett strut. I had to talk about Jeff Jarrett, and here's this motherfucker doing his goddamn strut. Anyways.
Copycat approach.
Anyways. So, my number 2. My number 2 is, as I just said, CM Punk. The dude is one of the realest motherfuckers in wrestling history. Again, got to do what he wanted, say what he wanted, act how he wanted. The guy, just everything about him, I thought was great. I loved his attitude, his work ethic, his in-ring ability, his skills on the mic, like fucking second to none. Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
CM Punk is my number 2.
That's an excellent one. You know, he actually slipped my mind, believe it or not. And I'm glad you brought him up because I think just the fact that he was so long, you know, we heard about him a little bit here and there, but he was good. Which brings me to my number 2, and I was leaning a little bit towards the other way, but my number 2, I'm going to have to go with Chris Jericho. It's only on the fact that not so much recently, but just over the years, like, he's been a guy that could always kind of reinvent himself. And, you know, be like the first undisputed champ. You know, knows a lot of history.
Yeah, that is a good point. He was the number 1 undisputed champ in history. So
They beat Rock and Austin both the same night.
First person to ever do that. Only person to ever do that, if I believe, if I'm correct.
The fact that, you know, you got a guy, so you got, you know, the guy who invented Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
He did. Money in the Bank is my favorite pay-per-view.
He was the, early 2000s for the millennium. He was basically like kind of the breath of fresh air the company was looking for.
Yeah, he was. He was young, he was hungry, he was athletic, he was gifted, especially on the mic. There's nothing that he couldn't do, and he got rewarded. He was great. It wasn't until later that his character turned, and I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like the whole list thing. Yeah, I didn't like Jericho. I didn't like the list. I don't like him now in AEW. That champion, I think, is so stupid. His podcast sucks. So,
I mean, it's just a point now, like, with AEW, it's like, why the guy's not, you know, he's accomplished. He's not in his prime, but you put the championship on him from the get-go. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
I don't know. I liked Chris Jericho back in the day when I was watching it. Not a fan now.
Yeah, I mean, another guy that they try to do like a whole. They don't really work as a tag team guy, but no, as a competitor, hands down.
Absolutely. When he was with Fandango, doing his feud with Fandango, that was terrible. Like, just the whole thing was terrible.
It got a little worse as the years have gone on. I mean, like as you say, now it really sort of takes the cake because, what's left to prove now? It's like,
right.
If you want to be like a coach or something, great. You don't have to be the guy in the spotlight anymore.
Completely correct. I completely understand and I agree with what you're saying. That being said, Jericho did not crack my top 5. So there's our 5, 4, 3, and 2. Honorable mentions. Do you have any honorable mentions for favorites?
Not for what he did personally, but Chris Benoit is a technical wrestler for his wrestling style. And honestly, for another honorable of the current day guy, Finn Balor, because that dude can change it up as well when it comes to changing up a wrestling style. Like, he goes from being Finn Balor to being Demon Balor. I mean, it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. He definitely is fun to watch. I really liked him as well. So let's go through my honorable mentions. I've got quite a few. So Kevin Owens. I really like Kevin Owens. Goldust, Booker T, Kane, Val Venus. Loved all of them. So those are my honorable mentions. Are you ready to give our number ones?
Let's do it.
All right. My number one favorite wrestler of all time, the New Age Outlaws. Fucking Road Dogg Jesse James, badass Billy Gunn. Every time they were in the ring, it was fucking gold. From their work on the mic, their work in the ring, their work backstage. In DX, not in DX. Their feud with the fucking Bushwhackers. Their feud with Terry Funk and Mick Foley. It just...
Yep.
Everything about the New Age Outlaws was fucking gold, and I loved them.
Yeah, that was a good pick, and I think it was, they did the famous dumpster match, was it with Dudley Boys?
No, it was with Terry Funk and Cactus Jack.
Oh, it was Cactus Jack? Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
No,
and just like...
No, that was...
When you're a kid, you go one way. There's no middle. You either like the superhero or you like the badass. I liked the badass of the New Age Outlaws. Just the little things they did to cheat to win. I loved it. So,
yeah.
My number one, the New Age Outlaws.
No, that was a good one. And that also the sense like they were, they went against the grain a lot. Like, they weren't afraid to basically go out there with wearing their Green Bay Packers jerseys and making fun of the 49ers fans. And yeah, I mean, it was another thing where it all played to the crowd. No, yeah. Definitely good number one.
Right, and again, I want to reiterate, these are our favorites, not necessarily the best. If we were making a list of the best wrestlers, I would not probably have the New Age Outlaws as my number one. Maybe they'd still be in the top 5, but they wouldn't be number one.
Definitely top 10, even for me.
Yeah.
But that leads me to my number one favorite of all time.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And you can't go wrong with the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Give me a hell yeah.
The guy that... Give me a hell yeah to the fact that, I mean, he pretty much ran the show when he was around. There could be something totally, different going on in the ring. This guy shows up in his truck, he comes speeding in, walks down the ring, stunners everybody in there, takes over the show, has Vince McMahon on his heels all the time. He was the guy. I mean, I think, if you were to debate probably the best of all time, he's definitely in that